High vibration ruined my life for a while, and if you're watching this, it's probably ruining yours too. I know that's not what you want to hear. You want me to say, raise your frequency and life gets easy, you attract good things, everyone will love you. But I'm not going to lie to you, because this narrative that spiritual evolution brings a magnetic, abundant life full of deep connections, it's half true. The part nobody tells you, before attracting all of that, you're going to be attacked. Isolated, misunderstood, tested to your limit, and not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're doing it too right. The more you evolve, the harder it gets, temporarily. And this isn't a flaw in the process. It's the process working. Because high vibration doesn't make you magnetic, loved, or blessed immediately. It makes you a target. Your light doesn't just attract light. It reveals shadows. In others, and in you. And when shadows are exposed, the reaction is never gratitude. It's attack, rejection, misunderstanding. You become incompatible with 95% of the frequencies around you. And this isolation isn't a sign you're doing it wrong. It's a sign you've surpassed your previous level. And the quantum field is recalibrating everything around you. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 real difficulties nobody talks about with high vibration, why they happen, and why each one is proof you're actually evolving. This isn't motivation. This isn't self-help. This is quantum physics applied to your life. And if you're living this right now, you're finally going to understand why. There are 5 experiences you're going to go through when you raise your frequency. 5 difficulties that will make you question if it's worth continuing. Let's start with the first one. Difficulty number 1, constant energetic attack. There's something nobody prepares you for when you start raising your frequency. You expect peace, abundance, deep connections, but what arrives is attack. People who were neutral before start treating you differently. Friends make passive-aggressive comments. Family questions your choices with strange intensity. Coworkers seem bothered by your presence, even when you've done nothing. And the most confusing part? None of it makes logical sense. You didn't change your personality. You didn't become arrogant. But something invisible changed, and people feel it. What's happening isn't paranoia, it's quantum physics. When you raise your frequency, you become a walking mirror. Your light reveals what was hidden in others. Buried fears, unresolved trauma, wasted potential. And their instinctive reaction isn't to thank you for the light. It's to attack the mirror. Because it's easier to turn off your light than deal with the reflection. It's not about you. It never was. It's about what your frequency reveals in their field. Your presence becomes an unconscious reminder of what they're not facing. And the attack comes disguised. Innocent comments loaded with poison. Judgmental looks. Heavy energy when you walk into the room. Subtle sabotage. Often it comes from people you love. Family, friends of years, romantic partners. They don't do it consciously. It's an automatic reaction from their nervous system. Your frequency destabilizes the field around them. People feel a threat they can't name. The brain interprets your light as danger and activates defense mode. Energetic attack isn't a character flaw on their part. It's a biological response to frequency difference. You vibrate at a frequency their nervous system doesn't recognize as safe. So they try to normalize you, pull you back. And here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Energetic attack isn't a sign you're doing it wrong. It's a sign you're doing it so right that it disturbs them. Your light doesn't need to be approved by those who chose to stay in the dark. Difficulty number 2. Social isolation. You don't fit anymore. Energetic attack is hard, but there's something even lonelier. The moment you realize you don't fit anymore, you go to meet friends you've had for years and feel like you're watching a movie in slow motion. The conversations feel empty, the topics superficial, and you try to connect. But internally you're screaming with boredom. It's not that you became better than them, it's literal frequency incompatibility. Like trying to tune an FM radio to an AM frequency. There's no signal, just static. And nobody did anything wrong. They're still the same people. The problem is you're not the same person anymore. You evolved to a frequency where gossip doesn't resonate, where constant complaining doesn't fit, where drama doesn't make sense, not because these things are bad, but because your energy field literally doesn't vibrate there anymore. It's pure physics. When two frequencies are too far apart, they can't connect. That bar you loved? Now the energy feels heavy. That group of friends? Now the jokes feel empty. That job? Now it suffocates your soul, and you start pulling away. Not because you want to, but because you can't sustain the difference anymore. Being in low-frequency environments when you vibrate high is like wearing clothes 3 sizes too small. It suffocates. It squeezes. It exhausts you just trying to fit. So you stop going, stop answering messages, stop accepting invitations. And people notice. They think you changed for the worse, that you became distant, arrogant, and maybe they say it. You're not the same anymore. You've changed too much. And they're right. You are different. But they say it like it's an accusation, like changing was betrayal. Here's what nobody warns you about. Social isolation isn't an optional phase of spiritual evolution. It's an inevitable part. You can't raise your frequency and keep all old connections intact, because connections are energetic bridges, and bridges only work when both sides are at the same height. If one side rises and the other stays, the bridge breaks. Not out of malice, out of physics. The isolation you're living isn't punishment. It's a sign you're between frequencies. You left the old one, haven't stabilized in the new one yet, and in this space, loneliness is inevitable. But it's not permanent. Difficulty. 3. Spiritual loneliness. Nobody speaks your language. Social isolation is one thing, but there's an even deeper layer. Spiritual loneliness. You can have people around and still feel like nobody really understands you, because you don't speak the same language as the rest of the world anymore. You try to explain you felt an energetic shift before something happened, and people look at you like you have 3 heads. You mention you're recalibrating your frequency, and you get nervous laughter or awkward silence. You talk about quantum fields, timelines, and even people who study spirituality think it's too much. So you learn to edit your sentences, to translate your experience into palatable language, to pretend your reality is simpler than it is. Because when you speak your full truth, people pull away. Spiritual loneliness isn't about being physically alone. It's about being alone in a dimension of consciousness, like being the only person awake in a sleeping world. You see things others don't see, feel layers others don't access, notice invisible connections, and you have nobody to share it with. Because if you share it, you're too sensitive, overthinking, overcomplicating. So you keep it inside, process alone, navigate alone, grow alone. And the loneliness becomes so deep you start questioning your own sanity. Am I making this up? Am I going crazy? The answer? Yes, it's real. No, you're not crazy. And no, most people don't feel it because they haven't reached this frequency yet. When you evolve spiritually, your perception expands. Like before you could only pick up AM radio, and now you pick up AM, FM, shortwave, ultra-high frequencies. You didn't lose ability. You gained abilities others don't have yet. And that creates distance. Imagine trying to explain color to someone who only sees black and white. You describe red. They have no reference. It's not stupidity on their part. It's current perceptual limitation. Spiritual loneliness is this. You see in vibrant colors, and you're surrounded by people who still see in grayscale. So conversations become simultaneous translation. You want to talk about quantum collapse and reduce it to law of attraction. Because if you use real language, you lose the person in 30 seconds. And the exhaustion of this is devastating. The hard truth is this. Spiritual loneliness has no quick solution. What it has is acceptance. You're not alone because you did something wrong. You're alone because you arrived at a place few have reached yet. Pause here for a second. If you're living this right now, If you feel attacked for no reason, if your old friends disappeared, if nobody understands what you're saying anymore, leave a comment saying, "I feel this too," because you need to know you're not alone in this. And knowing you're not alone already changes everything. And if you want, tell me which of these 3 difficulties is hitting you hardest: energetic attack, social isolation, or spiritual loneliness. Back to it. Difficulty. Number 4. Lowering your vibration seems strategic. After weeks of living these 3 difficulties, something dangerous starts to happen. You get tempted to go back, to lower your frequency on purpose, just a little, temporarily, just to make the pain stop. And it makes sense, doesn't it? If high vibration brought attack, isolation, and loneliness, maybe average vibration brings peace back. So you test it. You accept that invitation you were going to refuse. Go to that place that doesn't resonate anymore. Force conversation about topics you're not interested in. Pretend to laugh at jokes you don't find funny. Hide the parts of you that evolved. And it works. For a few hours, maybe days, people come back. The tension decreases. The attack stops. You feel temporary relief, human connection, belonging. And for a moment you think, maybe I exaggerated. But then you go home. You're alone with your thoughts, and you feel the weight of betrayal. Not betrayal from other people, betrayal of yourself. Because consciously lowering your frequency isn't strategic adjustment. It's self-sabotage disguised as survival. And here's what nobody explains. It's not your weakness. It's biology. Your nervous system was programmed for millions of years for one thing: survival. And survival means belonging to the group. Because historically, isolation meant death. So the brain developed an internal alarm for loneliness. And that alarm is real physical pain. Studies show social rejection activates the same brain areas as physical pain. The brain doesn't differentiate. Loneliness literally hurts the same way as breaking a bone. So when you're isolated for weeks, your nervous system goes into panic. Not because you're weak, but because it's doing what it was programmed to do: force you back to the group. And the temptation to lower your frequency is its proposal. Go back to the old frequency. Reconnect. Stop this pain. But here's the truth. Consciously lowering your frequency is never temporary. It's always the beginning of a fall. Because once you give in, the nervous system learns. It learns that pain is intolerable. It learns that belonging is worth more than authenticity. And every time you feel discomfort, it'll suggest the same solution: lower your frequency. The truth that saves is this: the temptation isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign your nervous system is doing its job. But you don't have to obey. Difficulty Thurker 5. Quantum tests. Life verifies if you can handle it. You survived the energetic attack, crossed through isolation, sustained spiritual loneliness, resisted the temptation to go back. And then, when you think the worst is over, the test arrives. And it doesn't look like a test. It looks like total collapse. It looks like punishment. It looks like the universe saying, "Just kidding, you don't deserve this." But it's none of that. It's verification. The quantum field checking if you really sustain the new frequency. It works like this. You spent months working on your frequency, raising it, growing. You declared a new identity, visualized a new reality, did all the inner work, and then life delivers exactly the opposite of what you manifested. You worked on abundance, financial crisis arrives. You raised your frequency of love, relationship ends. You declared health, body gets sick. And it's not coincidence, it's not bad luck. It's a sustaining test. Because one thing is vibrating high when everything's calm. Another thing is maintaining frequency when chaos knocks on your door. These situations don't arrive to destroy you. They arrive to reveal if your new frequency is solid or just temporary, if it's real identity or performance. And the hardest part? The test always comes in the area you worked on most. Like the universe is saying, "You say you're abundant? Let's see when the money disappears." Is it cruel? No. It's necessary. Because untested frequency is fragile frequency. You can feel abundant meditating in your room, but will you sustain it when the bill is due and you have no money? You can feel powerful in your morning ritual, but will you maintain power when someone humiliates you? The quantum test isn't about passing or failing. It's about revealing, showing where your frequency is real and where it's a mask. And the higher your frequency, the stronger the test. Because the higher the altitude you reached, the more pressure the field needs to apply to verify you can handle it. It's engineering applied to consciousness. If you're going to build a 100-story building, you need to test if the foundation can handle the weight. If you're going to vibrate at a frequency 95% don't reach, you need to prove you won't collapse at the first difficulty. And the test always seems unfair. You did everything right, and still, life delivered disaster. So you question everything. If I did everything right, why is it going wrong? And that question is part of the test. The answer you give defines if you pass. If you answer, "It's all a lie, I'm giving up," you lower your frequency, and the test showed you weren't ready. But if you answer, "This is a test, I sustain my frequency regardless of what happens," you pass, and reality recognizes you're serious. The truth that changes everything is this: quantum tests aren't optional. The higher the level you want to reach, the stronger the test. The test is protection, a guarantee that when you receive what you manifested, you'll be ready to hold it. Now that you know the 5 difficulties, you need to understand why. Why does high vibration complicate before it simplifies? Why does spiritual evolution feel like punishment at first? The answer is in quantum physics, and it's not a metaphor, it's literal mechanics. Frequency dissonance. Think of 2 sound waves. One vibrating at 440 Hz, another at 220 Hz. When they meet, they don't create harmony. They create friction, interference, discomfort. This is exactly what happens when you raise your frequency. You vibrate at frequency X. Most people vibrate at frequency Y. When your fields meet, there's no harmony. There's repulsion. It's not personal, it's physics. 2 incompatible fields can't coexist comfortably. One needs to adjust or move away. And since you change consciously, the ones who need to adjust are others, but they don't want to, so they move away or try to pull you back. Mirror effect. Your light isn't decorative. It has a mechanical function in the energy field. When you raise your frequency, you become a high-resolution mirror, and mirrors reveal. The more light you emit, the more shadows you expose. Not just in others, in you too, but mainly in others. And nobody likes seeing their own shadows, fears, trauma, wasted potential. So the natural reaction is to eliminate the source of discomfort. You. Not because you're bad, but because your presence reveals what they don't want to see. That's why good people attack you. It's not about who you are, it's about what you reflect. Quantum recalibration. When you change frequency, the quantum field around you needs to reorganize. Everything, people, situations, opportunities, environments. It's like changing the channel on TV. You're no longer tuned to the old frequency. So everything that belonged to that frequency needs to leave your field. And everything that belongs to the new frequency needs to enter. But this process isn't instantaneous. It's not clean. It's chaotic. Because you're literally between 2 worlds. You left the old one, haven't fully arrived at the new one yet. And in this in-between space, everything seems to be falling apart. But it's not falling apart. It's reorganizing. Victim vs. observer. Here's the difference that changes everything. Victim asks, "Why is this happening to me?" Observer recognizes, "This is happening to recalibrate my new frequency." Victim feels punished. Observer understands its process. Victim resists. Observer allows. And allowing isn't conforming. It's recognizing that difficulty isn't a system error. It's the system working, the paradox. And here's the paradox few people understand. Difficulty isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of movement. If it were easy, you wouldn't have moved from your spot. Real growth always encounters resistance. Without friction, there's no movement. Without resistance, there's no real change. A stationary object generates no friction. The faster you move between frequencies, the greater the friction. Your difficulty measures your speed of evolution. If it's hard, you're growing. If it's easy, you're stagnant. External world reflects internal world. If nothing changed around you, you haven't changed inside. External chaos is proof of internal transformation. So when they attack you, when they isolate you, when nobody understands, when life seems to be falling apart, don't interpret it as failure. Recognize it as confirmation. You're evolving so fast the field around you has no choice but to react. And this isn't punishment. It's physics. Now that you understand the mechanics, let's reposition your perspective and give you practical navigation to get through this. Reframe number 1. This is temporary. First thing you need to understand, this isn't your new normal. It's a bridge. You're between two frequencies. The old one doesn't fit anymore. The new one hasn't fully stabilized yet. You're on the bridge. It's not the final destination, and bridges have timelines. They don't last forever. Intense chaos phase, 3 to 6 months. Gradual stabilization, 6 to 12 months. New balance at a higher level, 12 to 18 months. It's not fast, but it's finite. You won't live like this forever. You're crossing through, not arriving. Reframe. Number 2, you chose this. This isn't random punishment. Your soul asked for growth. And this is the answer. It's not why me. It's, I asked for this. Your limited consciousness wants comfort. Your soul wants evolution. And evolution isn't comfortable. Never was, never will be. You weren't chosen to suffer. You chose to evolve. And this is the process. Reframe. Number 3. Switch expectations. Wrong expectation. High vibration. Life without problems. Correct expectation. High vibration. Higher level problems. What changes isn't the absence of challenges. It's the quality of challenges. You stop dealing with superficial drama and start dealing with deep transformation. You stop wasting time on gossip and start facing your own shadows. You stop solving small problems and start building a completely new reality. High vibration doesn't eliminate problems, it eliminates small problems and brings the big ones, the ones that actually matter. Navigation number 1. Stop expecting easy life. Change the question from, when will this get easy, to, what is this preparing me for? Each difficulty isn't an obstacle, it's training. When energetic attack comes, ask, what is this revealing in me? When isolation hits, ask, what version of me needs to emerge alone? When quantum test arrives, ask, is my frequency solid or fragile? Difficulty isn't a problem to solve, it's an opportunity to strengthen your new frequency. Navigation, Ver 2. Find your tribe, but don't force it. You don't need 100 friends. You need 1 to 3 people on the same frequency. Quality always beat quantity. But here's the secret. You don't find your tribe by trying to fit in. You find it by stopping forcing. Your tribe isn't where you were, it's where you're going. So stop going back to old places expecting new connection. Start frequenting spaces aligned with your new vibration. Events, online communities, places that resonate with who you're becoming, not who you were. And trust. When you stop forcing false belonging, your tribe will appear naturally. Because you'll recognize each other by frequency. Navigation number 3. Use isolation as incubation. Reframe the loneliness. Loneliness isn't punishment. It's a laboratory. It's where your next version is being built. A caterpillar becomes a butterfly alone in the chrysalis. You're in the chrysalis now. It's not abandonment. It's incubation. Use this time alone to integrate changes, to process, to recalibrate. Don't force interactions that drain you just to not feel alone. Because false connection is worse than true solitude. And when you emerge transformed, your tribe will recognize you. You're not alone because you were rejected. You're alone because you're transforming. And real transformation always happens in silence. You won't wake up tomorrow with everything solved. There's no magic ritual that eliminates difficulty. There's no technique that skips this phase. What there is understanding, and understanding is power. When you understand attack isn't about you, you stop internalizing it. When you understand isolation is physics, you stop blaming yourself. When you understand the test is verification, you stop giving up. And when you stop interpreting difficulty as failure, you start interpreting it as confirmation. Confirmation you're really evolving, that your frequency is really changing, that you're no longer who you were. And this, as painful as it is right now, is exactly what you asked for. So, quick recap. Energetic attack. You're an involuntary mirror. Social isolation. You don't fit in old places anymore. Spiritual loneliness. Nobody speaks your language. Temptation to lower vibration. It seems easier to regress. Quantum tests. Life verifies if you can really handle it. If you're living these 5 things, congratulations. Not sarcasm. You're actually evolving. I know it's not what you wanted to hear. You wanted me to say high vibration only attracts good things. But high vibration complicates before it simplifies, isolates before it connects, destroys before it rebuilds. And this doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're doing it right. Difficulty isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of accelerated evolution. You're not being punished for growing, you're being tested to see if you really want this. And by your presence here, you've already answered. Yes, I want it, even if it hurts. And tell me, which of these 5 difficulties are you living right now? Energetic attack, isolation, spiritual loneliness, temptation to regress, or quantum tests? Comment below. I read them all. If this video validated something you're living, if you felt seen, understood, less alone, hit the like button. Not for the algorithm. So I know this content is actually helping someone. And if you want more content that speaks the truth about spiritual evolution, no filter, no everything is love and light, no comforting lies, subscribe to the channel. Here we talk about what nobody talks about. Speaking of truths nobody tells. In the next video, I'm going to show you why you attract money and lose it immediately. This vicious cycle of gaining and losing has a quantum explanation, and you're going to understand how to break it once and for all. Click the next video now. See you there.